Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic at AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, 4 p.m. on the 29th of December between number 2 Clemson Tigers and the number 3 Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
New year, same old story for Clemson. Back in the college football playoff for the 4th straight year and in 5-year existence of the college football playoff. 3-2 record in those playoffs has Dabo Swinney and company riding high with a lot of confidence for Clemson's first Cotton Bowl appearance since 1940. August Clemson looks a little different than December Clemson. Up and down the first 4 games of the season, Swinney elected to bench the starting quarterback Kelly Bryant in favor of freshman sensation Trevor Lawrence. Kelly Bryant has since transferred out immediately, like the week that he got benched, he was out. And Trevor Lawrence, who, of course, in his first start, got injured, and they didn't have Kelly Bryant to go back on. So he got injured in his first start. They had to ride the legs of sensational running back Travis Etienne to beat a pesky Syracuse squad. Etienne scored 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter, including one with just 41 seconds left to give Clemson the win, 27-23. But Lawrence would return the next week and lead the Tigers. Wouldn't skip a beat the rest of the season, 13-0 record. The remaining games after that Syracuse game, no team came closer in a final score than 20 points. The average score, add up all those games, those last 8 games, 50 to 10.5. Dominant top 5 defense adds on to that high-powered offense. You've got an extremely talented number 2 team in the country. Clemson led by 2 men that I mentioned before, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. Lawrence, despite not being the starter for those first 4 games, had 2,600 passing yards and 24 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. But Travis Etienne was even better. 1,463 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns on the ground. The Clemson offense runs through Etienne, literally. It'll be difficult to contain this man. He's too important. He's so important for Clemson. If he does not have a good game, Clemson's going to struggle in this one. The defensive side of the ball, maybe minus one of their regular starters, defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. He was one of 3 Tigers to test positive for a banned substance here recently in the last week or 2. There's going to be a second test to see whether or not he will be allowed to play in this game, but he might be out of this one. So that could be a difference maker on the defensive side of the ball of Clemson, which is a really, really good defense to go along with that really potent rushing attack.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, do you know his nickname?
What, Sunshine or something? He's got really long hair, doesn't he?
They call him Sunshine. Like remember the Titans Sunshine, because he's got the long hair. So I thought that was a fun story.
Too easy to guess, John. Too easy to guess with the long hair.
Well,
and
just like Clemson has a quarterback that's going to transfer, Notre Dame also has a quarterback who's going to transfer. Ian Book was so good this year that Brandon Wimbush is transferring away. Book helped Notre Dame in their undefeated season, a feat that is hard to take away from them as much as you may complain that it's BS since they didn't play in a championship game.
Right.
Book was hyper accurate this season, though, connecting on 70% of his passes for 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. The offensive line gets a lot of credit as well. They've kept him pretty clean. Dexter Williams has also enjoyed success because of the offensive line and will most likely roll over the 1,000-yard mark in this game. On defense, Notre Dame was 22nd in yards per game, giving up 332, 198 through the air, 133 on the ground. So watch for Tavon Coney and Julian Love in this matchup for Notre Dame against Trevor Lawrence. Linebacker Coney leads the team with 107 tackles and flies to the ball. Julian Love has 15 pass deflections, which is tied 9th most in the FBS. Now, many have griped that the strength of schedule was bogus and Notre Dame doesn't deserve the number 3 spot. It's hard for me to disagree with their best win coming over Michigan and playing tight with Northwestern. Now, the S&P Plus, I don't know how much you've gotten into the S&P Plus, Geoff, but it's a different ranking system, and it goes through all the strengths of schedules based on how teams have performed throughout the season. Has Notre Dame at 61st in the strength of schedule.
So very good.
But it's also got Clemson at 76.
Okay.
So Clemson did, however, have to play in a championship game and won.
Well,
so when you're looking at these two,
good championship game opponent,
it's still a championship game. Anything can happen. Those games are so different compared to regular season games. So I don't know. You know how I feel about Brian Kelly, and you know how I feel about Notre Dame. I don't think they have enough to beat this Clemson team. I think Clemson is too good. I think this one's going to be easy for them, and everybody's going to see why Notre Dame shouldn't be as highly ranked as they are. They're essentially UCF, and I don't like it, and I have Clemson winning this one.
Such shade thrown toward UCF.
Yeah.
Oof.
Because they're over there spouting off about, we're the national champions, or we should be again. We have so many wins in a row.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Notre Dame is overrated. I dislike that team immensely, and I think Clemson wins this one relatively easily. I think they're favored by like 13, so I think they cover.